fire. Oh, God! All right, guys, beautiful day here in North Carolina. See that Trailblazer right there? Only a few more days, you guys can get entered to win that thing and have it sitting in your driveway. It is a 650 horsepower nitrous fed Trailblazer. Let's go take a look at it, come on. This thing, it sits mean, it rides mean, it sounds mean, it's badass. It's on a drag pack, 17-inch wheels up front, 15-inch V-locks in the rear. It's just bad to the bone. It's probably the baddest daily driver I've ever owned, and it goes fast at the track. It comes with a set of street tires. It comes with a drag pack, leather seats, heated interior, 2 nitrous bottles, standalone nitrous system, C16 in there, runs on 93. This thing right here is the ultimate daily driver. Only a few days left. We're getting down to the wire. You guys need to go to lsnasty.com to get entered to win. We'll do, should we do a multiplier day today? It's Monday. It's your call, David. You make a call. You make the call and you pick the number. That easy. 3 times entry today. All right, 3 times entry today. Triple entry day today. We got a bunch of brand new merchandise. This is one of our new LS Nasty shirts. Absolutely bad to the bone. David, you got him with that selfie cam because David's wearing an OG. Look at that. Dude, you know it's a good video when it's triple entry and a selfie cam to start it off. So I'll put the rest of our merchandise that we got. There's a bunch of stuff. You guys need to go to lsnasty.com. It's the first link in the description below to check that stuff out. And today, every $1 you spend gets you 3 entries to win. We have swag packs up there, which are 2 times entry all the time, so those are 6 times. So every time when you purchase, it'll tell your entries. We have a bunch of orders. We're hammering orders out. If you guys don't have everything just yet, just hang on. It's in the mail. It's on its way to you. And yeah, let's get started in today's video. Alright guys, we're going to do a whole separate video just on the safety aspect of this. Obviously the car did its job and kept Matt, I'd say, fairly safe, but we did find some room for improvement. So, for those of you guys that haven't seen the last video, the Bad Apple was involved in a racing incident. It was wrecked. Probably the hardest wreck that you can have short of 300 feet. I mean, it was the hardest hit that I've seen in a while at the racetrack.
This is from dragging the wall for,
that's from,
what, 2 seconds?
Yeah, not even. I mean, it was a absolutely vicious hit. So, the way these cars are designed is they do a lot better with a front impact than a side impact. Really, you got your X-bar and your driver containment. That's the only support. When you wreck from the front, you have all of these other bars and then the cage structure, you know, to keep you safe. Plus, the way the seat belts are designed and the harness is designed, it's really going to help you with a lot of front forward motion opposed to a side impact. So, this thing right here, it was like worst case scenario. Got to the center line, broke loose. The ass came around, and then you put some counter steer in it, and as you're counter steering, you know, it's just sliding, and right before you hit the wall, almost would have been better if the car never really caught itself, and it just nosed it into the wall, because then it probably would have been like a front half or like a firewall forward and redo the turbo kit and stuff like that, but right before it hit the wall, it caught and it kicks back. So not only are you going towards the wall, but now it's like you're multiplying your speed because the ass is whipping around. And as you can see, the impact that it had on the side. I don't know if you can crush a car more perfectly on one side. It was gnarly. So we're just going to kind of go over everything on this car. The car is a very well-built car. The car ran XC75 years ago. We got it. It was all steel, all glass. Tube front end. It's a 25.5 chassis. It has some floor structure in there. It's got some, you can tell where it's a little bit older. It's got some real beefy square tubing underneath. But the car did its job. It didn't come in on the driver. The driver containment area is still intact and still in good shape. So that's what you really are looking for. When you wreck a car, obviously it's not ideal, but the car can be replaced. The driver, a human, a life, can't replace that. So Matt's actually at the hospital now. He was in there with, it was pretty, I mean, it was a hard hit. So I think he fared okay, but we're going to do a video tomorrow talking about some safety upgrades that I think if they were in the car, Matt would have got out of the car right then and there and then just been like, damn, that sucks, instead of, ouch, I'm not okay. So up front, first thing you look at, it's crazy. The turbo itself, turbo's good.
I don't even think it needs a new front cover.
The front cover, it's got just some visual damage, but nothing structural in this thing. It's fine. Crazy that the fuel tank did not rupture. We run methanol cars. We have smaller fuel tanks. You're looking at 3 to 5 gallons. You're not burning that in a pass, but methanol is very dangerous. We have a fire system on the car, as you can see here, which is still intact. So if Matt needed to pull the fire system, it would have worked fine and done its job, which I think that is pretty good. See, the bottle's a little bit banged up, but it didn't move, it didn't fall out, and it's ready. I mean, it was ready to be used if needed. It didn't leak a drop of oil or anything on the track. So I think that right there is pretty cool. The motor plate is bent up pretty much. Both frame rails got kind of smushed in. And when that happened, the motor plate like bowed up and the firewall bowed back. So I mean, you're just pushing stuff together kind of like an accordion. The headers seem to be pretty good. Everything on the motor, I assume, is all right. Gonna have to look at it, obviously. The oil pump, the fuel pump. If we go in the back here, come check this out. The battery got ripped out of the car, and the kill switch got destroyed as well. So the car shut off instantly, which was good. Look at that, ripped the battery post right out of the battery. That's pretty gnarly. Being that it's a mechanical,
that's what's left of the kill switch.
Yeah, that's the kill switch right there. Being that's a mechanical fuel pump car, if the motor is turning RPMs, that fuel pump is a badass fuel pump. It's 17 gallons a minute. It's going to be pumping fuel. So it's a good thing that it was shut off the way it was, because it eliminated any chance for their fuel to keep flowing or anything like that. As soon as the impact on that first wall, car shut off. Matt actually was knocked out, so he was just along for the ride at that point, and then went across the track and hit the other wall. Both very, very, very tough hits. I mean, look at the parachute itself is just bent to the side just from the impact of hitting that wall. I mean, it is a gnarly lick. The Steven Needs Rock Solid Motorsports burn down
got
tank.
moved from the battery. You see the dent on the side of it.
Yeah. Shout out to Steven. I mean, if we're gonna talk about all this shit, right? None of the tabs broke off. This tab's bent. None of the tabs broke off this thing. I mean, it's still bolted on here. It's still in good shape. If we're just talking about quality, that's some pretty badass quality. And that right there is, we don't have a G meter in this car. We tried to pull the G out with the dash. I have no idea where it would be, but it was pretty much 80 miles an hour. Then I don't know how much you multiply it by, then smacks the wall. You can see here this like rear firewall. I mean, look at how it's just literally just tore apart. I mean, it's crazy. So there's a bunch of glass in the car. Very thankful Matt had his visor down. I think the only straight panel on the car is that door. I think that door is all right.
Oh, you can see the Kirky on the left side of it.
It's bent.
Been out in the weld spot.
So that's what we're going to talk about in another video, room for improvement with the Kirky seat. I mean, dude, it was just a vicious hit.
The X bars are slightly bent.
Yeah, the X bar, you see they're caved in right there. The other side, we can't get the door open. Obviously, we're going to end up probably just cutting that door off so we can access everything inside. We're going to tear this thing down and go through everything and inventory what parts we have right. The game plan is we're going to get another car and rebuild the Bad Apple. So the Bad Apple will be back, just not this one.
Lift that cover up on the left side of it, on the bottom. You can see that.
Oh yeah. So that right there is crazy. Damn, and the mount is right here on the outside too. That's what mounts it.
Yeah,
Whew. All right, so let's go up. We'll look at it underneath. Man, it's a hard hit.
That hit that.
Right.
Yup.
So, I guess we'll start from the back here.
This flange is probably warped.
I think the axle housing's bent. This rear tire is facing in and out, so it's not happy. So I think probably I mean, dude.
You can see the spoke of the wheel is cracking paint off of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the wheel might just be bent.
Man, I don't know. That's a hard hit.
Oh man, definitely.
I mean, look at dude.
Yeah.
It's gnarly. There's pieces of the wall right in there. And that's a big ass concrete wall.
Yeah, it is.
Back here, you could really see there's a little bend up right here that I know wasn't in there before. So I mean, it really tweaked everything. That's the back frame rails. That's the support right there.
Yeah.
Because it is a Fox body. It's got torque boxes. It's got upgraded torque boxes, but still factory suspension stuff. So we're using a lot of the factory frame. You can see here it's got this really thick square tubing in there. I bet that this helped out because it is so beefy.
Oh, for sure.
And then it's got the through floor subframe connectors. I mean, it was such a hard hit. The transmission mount.
Yeah, it's on the ground right there.
This was like boxed in, right? I mean, in way higher. Transmission mount busted. Everything you could see is tip forward. Look at this control arm right here. Control arm smoked, spindle smoked, strut not happy. I mean, it literally pushed this whole car together.
This brake rotor is.
Yeah, the rotor. I mean, how crazy is that? The rotor. I mean, that's how quick that shit could happen, though. I mean, literally, a split second, she's done. So, very thankful. No fuel leaking, no oil leaking, nothing. Because obviously, you don't want to add like insult to injury, and then you wreck the car and then it catches on fire. That would not be good. So here, look at this. I think this is new. Look at it's got to be new. Isn't this floor pan kicked down? Compared to this, look at that.
It's hard to say because that looks like it's dented in, kinda.
Yeah. I mean, this thing took a beat.
That might have just been from back in the day streetcar driving.
Yeah, it could be. So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty gnarly. Like I said, as those hits, this is probably as hard of a hit as you can get. So the car did its job. I mean, look at this steering broke.
That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, everything there is just kind of shoved up in there and just stuck. So it's a hard hit. The car did its job by not letting anything come in there. Look at turbo kit, smoke wastegate, MIA.
No, it's over there on the shelf. It's good.
Well, it was MIA from the turbo kit. So, I mean, it was tough to watch. So, thankfully, BJ, Marcus, all those guys, they got there quick and got Matt out, and everything was, a big concern with these methanol cars. It is a fire because, one, methanol burns clear, but you'd see everything else burning around it. But especially a situation like that, driver knocked out, car catches on fire, safety crew. I mean, you're dependent on everyone else at that point, so you got to be on it. So the boys got up there quick and got him out. So it is crazy. It's crazy. It happened so quick too. I mean, it's like that. So I think on as it sits right now, everything off the motor plate, the oil pump, fuel pump, the turbo, intakes, oil pan, everything's fine. Transmission converter, everything's fine. We'll send the drive shaft back and get that fixed. and then we'll be able to take this whole power plant out, set it on the ground, go through the car really, and then just see, like, you know, a lot of the stuff, if it's damaged or we think it's damaged, you're gonna get rid of it if you're gonna put it in a whole new car, and we'll see what we have, and then we will start piecing everything back together. So I mean, the big thing here is, you know, motor, transmission. It's solid. I mean, the car kind of moved around it, but everything seems to be good there. But I mean, that's what these cars do. I mean, they're supposed to be rigid, be safe. Like I said, a side impact hit like that, you're on your own there. I mean, there's not much give. There's nothing to really soak up the hit. You're sitting there right against that bar. So we're gonna do a whole nother video where we'll talk with Matt, and he'll give you his experience, because it is, I mean, he was telling me, he's like, words can't describe what's going on, or how, like, hard, or like, it's just, you can't really understand it unless you're in it. Obviously you don't want to be in it, but we're going to use this as a learning opportunity for all of our cars here and to you guys at home, because if there's any slight room for improvement as far as safety goes, as far as, you know, driver preservation, it is well worth it. I'd say we're pretty safe. We wear all of our safety gear and do all that stuff, but this is very eye-opening on how bad it could be. I'll tell you this right now. If Matt wasn't wearing all of his safety gear, if he didn't have a good helmet, if he didn't have his Hans on, if he wasn't strapped in there, we could be having a whole lot different conversation right now. And if the car wasn't built as good as the car was built. So, like I said, I mean, if we went out there in Eddie Murphy, we wouldn't be talking about, you know, Matt's a little bruised up right now. It wouldn't be good. So we're very thankful that, you know, things happened the way they did, and, you know, use that as a learning opportunity for us and for you guys. We work with a bunch of really good companies. I've had so many people reach out to us here as Ellis Nasty, myself, Matt. Everyone's been checking in on them, so it's really good to see that support. And you know, we'll be back. It won't be long, but we're going to use this, like I said, as an opportunity for where we can improve and where we can inform you guys on where you guys should improve, because I can tell you this, Matt will tell you he's in some pain right now, and if it's avoidable, it'd definitely be beneficial to be avoidable. So that's going to wrap up today's video. Just a quick overview. This is the carnage. You know, this is part of doing what we do. There's that risk every time you sit in the car and fire it up that you could wreck it, that it could be bad, and you hope that it just doesn't happen, but it does. It's part of the sport. It's kind of like drag racing is kind of like having a pet snake. You know, you could hang out with it and play around with it, but every once in a while that sucker might come up and bite you. So thank you guys for watching. Come subscribe, go to ellisnasty.com to get entered to win some merchandise, and be on the lookout. Bad Apple 2.0 will be coming soon.